The beast stopped running the moment it saw the child. Behind it, the hunters were closing in. Their engines roared across the frozen valley, scattering snow and shattered ice into the air. The enormous creature's body trembled as it pressed itself against the cliff face, its glowing eyes fixed on the tiny human standing alone in the storm. For a heartbeat, the entire world seemed to freeze. Then the child stepped forward, and the colossal alien beast, feared across half a sector, lowered its head in terror. The planet Astra was not supposed to have humans. At least, that was what every navigation chart in the Orion Reach claimed. The world sat near the edge of explored space, covered by endless forests, frozen mountains, and deep crystal oceans. Few ships visited, fewer stayed. 7-year-old Nora did not care about star maps. She cared about finding her lost explorer drone. Wrapped in a thick winter coat and carrying a small beacon light, she wandered through the snowy woods near Frontier Guard Outpost 7. The station itself was little more than a cluster of research domes built beside a frozen lake. Life on Astra was quiet, too quiet for most adults. But for Nora, it was an endless adventure. That morning, she followed strange footprints into the mountains. The tracks were enormous. Each print was larger than a transport vehicle. Most people would have turned around immediately. Nora followed them. Hours later, she reached a narrow valley hidden between walls of black stone. Snow drifted lazily through the air. Strange blue crystals glowed beneath the ice. And there she found it. At first, she thought a mountain had fallen. Then the mountain moved. The creature was unlike anything she had ever seen. Its body stretched nearly 60 meters long. Dark armor-like scales covered its skin. Massive limbs dug trenches into the snow. Along its back ran glowing silver ridges that pulsed like a heartbeat. The giant alien looked wounded. One leg bled dark blue fluid onto the ice. Its breathing was uneven. Its eyes opened. Nora should have been afraid. Instead, she felt sad. The creature looked exhausted, alone, broken. The giant beast stared at the tiny human for several long seconds. Neither moved. Finally, Nora slowly removed the emergency medical pack hanging from her shoulder. The creature flinched. She stopped immediately. "It's okay," she whispered. The beast did not understand her words, but something in her voice seemed to matter. Its breathing eased slightly. The afternoon passed beneath falling snow. Nora carefully approached the wounded leg. Every step felt impossibly dangerous. One sudden movement could end her life. Yet the creature remained still. Its massive eye followed her every motion. She cleaned part of the wound using emergency foam from her kit. The beast growled once. The sound shook loose snow from nearby cliffs. Nora nearly fell backward. Then the growl faded. The giant simply watched. As daylight faded, an unusual routine began. Nora talked. The creature listened. She told stories about life at the outpost, about her parents, about school lessons she disliked, about the explorer drone she was supposed to be searching for. The beast could not understand any of it. Yet each time she spoke, its enormous eyes softened. For the first time in days, perhaps weeks, the creature seemed calm. When darkness arrived, Nora activated her beacon. The warm light illuminated swirling snow. The beast lowered its head beside her. Its body blocked the freezing wind. For the rest of the night, the child slept against the side of the largest creature she had ever seen. And for reasons neither understood, both felt safe. The following days created a strange friendship. Nora returned whenever she could escape the outpost's watchful adults. She brought food. The creature preferred large fish from a frozen lake. Soon it began recognizing her from a distance. Whenever she appeared, the giant would release a deep rumbling sound that echoed through the valley. Nora called it Titan. The name seemed fitting. She never realized Titan belonged to a species known throughout the Helix system as the Varn Titans. Creatures so powerful that entire fleets avoided provoking them. Creatures hunted for one reason: their cores. Deep inside every Varn Titan existed an energy organ worth fortunes on the black market, and hunters would cross galaxies to obtain one. Far beyond Astra's atmosphere, a ship emerged from warp, then another, and another. 3 sleek vessels drifted silently through the darkness. Their hulls carried the insignia of the Black Talon Syndicate. Professional hunters. Merciless hunters. Their scanners immediately locked onto a massive energy signature beneath the mountains. A Varn Titan. Alive. The fleet commander smiled. The reward alone could buy a moon. Down below, Titan sensed something before any machine could detect it. The giant suddenly became restless. Its eyes constantly scanned the sky. Its breathing grew heavier. When Nora arrived the next day, she noticed the change instantly. The creature refused to leave her side. It paced nervously, growled at distant clouds, and repeatedly nudged her toward the direction of the outpost, as if trying to tell her to go home. Then the first explosion came. A thunderous blast erupted across the mountains. Snow cascaded from cliffs. Birds scattered into the sky. Nora froze. Titan's entire body stiffened. Moments later, glowing streaks appeared overhead. Dropships, dozens of them, descending directly toward the valley. The giant beast looked upward, and for the first time since she had met it, Nora saw genuine fear. Not anger, not aggression. Fear. The hunters had found it. Titan backed away instinctively. Its wounded leg trembled. Its enormous body shook. The child looked from the sky back to her friend. Then another explosion echoed through the valley. Closer this time. Much closer. And as armored hunter dropships burst through the clouds above them, Titan did something no one in the galaxy would have believed possible. The colossal alien beast moved behind the human child, using her tiny body as its shield. Titan's enormous body trembled behind Nora. The sight was almost impossible to comprehend. A creature capable of crushing armored vehicles beneath its feet was hiding behind a 7-year-old child. The dropships descended through the storm clouds, engines screaming across the valley. Their floodlights swept over the snow until they locked onto the massive energy signature below. The hunters had found their prize. What they had not expected was the child standing directly in front of it. Nora could hear the machines approaching. She could hear Titan's breathing. Fussed, uneven, terrified. Then she understood. Titan was not afraid for itself. It was afraid for her. The realization hit harder than any explosion. For days, the giant had protected her from storms, sheltered her from the cold, and watched over her while she slept. Now believed those ships would kill her, and it was willing to face death rather than risk hurting the child standing before it. The first hunter team landed less than 200 meters away. Armored figures emerged through swirling snow, carrying pulse rifles and tracking equipment. Their commander immediately recognized the situation. A human child. A complication. The hunters spread out cautiously. Above them, more ships arrived. The valley suddenly felt very small. One of the hunters raised a weapon toward Titan. Before anyone could react, Nora stepped directly between them. The entire formation froze. No mercenary wanted to become responsible for killing a child from a frontier guard colony. The hesitation lasted only seconds. But seconds were enough. A distress beacon activated from Nora's jacket. Her father had installed it years ago. The emergency signal shot into orbit, then into deep space, then toward every nearby communications relay connected to the United Terran Alliance. The hunters realized their mistake immediately. They had lost the element of surprise. The commander ordered the capture operation anyway. The reward was too valuable. Pulse nets launched through the air. Titan roared. The sound shook the mountains. For the first time, Nora saw the true scale of the creature's power. The giant moved, not toward the hunters, toward her, its colossal body wrapped around the child like a living fortress. Energy nets struck Titan's armor. Blue sparks erupted everywhere. The giant staggered but remained standing. Then the mountains exploded. Artillery fire streaked across the valley. Not from the hunters, from Frontier Guard Outpost 7. Nora's emergency signal had been received. Within minutes, every available human defender had mobilized. Small defense vehicles emerged from hidden tunnels. Their weapons were insignificant compared to military fleets. But the humans attacked anyway. Not because they could win, because one of their children was trapped in the valley. The battle became chaos. Snowstorms mixed with plasma fire. Hunters exchanged fire with colony defenders. Dropships crashed into frozen cliffs. Several Frontier Guard vehicles were destroyed almost immediately. Human casualties mounted, yet nobody retreated. Every minute bought Nora another chance. High above Astra, the situation escalated further. The distress signal had reached deeper networks, then military channels, then Solar Command itself. What the hunters did not know was that Titan was far more valuable than anyone realized. Military intelligence had spent decades tracking rumors of the Varn Titans. Ancient records suggested they were not merely animals. They were guardians, living custodians of something hidden, something older than most civilizations. As battle raged below, long-range scans finally confirmed the truth. Titan was not an ordinary Varn Titan. It was the last surviving juvenile guardian of an ancient network buried beneath Astra. A network capable of controlling dormant energy gates scattered across multiple star systems. If criminal syndicates harvested its core, entire sectors could descend into chaos. The United Terran Alliance immediately deployed the Earth Defense Fleet, but help was still hours away. Hours the defenders did not have. The hunters launched their final assault. Heavy weapons opened fire simultaneously. Titan's armor cracked. Blue blood stained the snow. The giant nearly collapsed. Nora screamed and ran toward it. For a terrifying moment, she thought it was dying. Titan lowered its head beside her. Its glowing eye focused on the tiny human. Despite the pain, despite the fear, the giant nudged her gently, the same way it always had. The gesture shattered something inside the defenders. Every human watching understood. This was not a monster. This was a frightened creature protecting a child. The colony commander made a decision that military analysts would later study for decades. He ordered every remaining vehicle, drone, and weapon platform to concentrate entirely on defending Titan. Not the colony, not themselves. Titan. The humans formed a shield. A hopeless shield. One by one they were destroyed. But they held. And every minute mattered. Finally the sky changed. Brilliant streaks of light tore through the atmosphere. Dozens, then hundreds. The Earth Defense Fleet had arrived. Massive warships emerged above Astra like descending mountains. The hunters immediately attempted retreat. They were too late. Human vessels surrounded the entire formation. Precision strikes disabled engines. Boarding teams launched. Within minutes, the Black Talon Syndicate ceased to exist as a fighting force. The battle was over, but Titan was dying. The valley fell silent as medical teams rushed forward. Nora refused to leave the giant's side. For 2 days, she remained there, sleeping beside it, talking to it, holding one enormous claw. Doctors worked continuously. Scientists studied Varn biology. Engineers adapted equipment never designed for creatures of that scale. Several times, they nearly lost it. Several times, Titan's heartbeat faded. Each time it returned. Weeks later, the giant finally opened its eyes. The first thing it searched for was Nora. She was waiting. The recovery revealed even more astonishing truths. Ancient structures hidden beneath Astra activated in response to Titan's survival. Long-dormant systems awakened. Records thousands of years old emerged from beneath the planet's crust. The galaxy learned that the Varn Titans had spent millennia protecting pathways between civilizations. Not conquerors, not beasts, guardians, the last survivors of a forgotten age. News spread across the Orion Reach. Then beyond, entire governments struggled to explain one simple fact. The last Varn Guardian had not been saved by a fleet, not by armies, not by politicians. It had been saved by a human child carrying a medical kit. For many alien societies, the story was difficult to understand. Humans were considered aggressive, unpredictable, dangerously persistent. Now, they discovered something even more unsettling. Humans would fight impossible battles for those they considered family, even when that family was not human. Especially when that family was not human. Years later, diplomats, explorers, and historians would visit Astra to see the place where everything changed. They would find Nora older, but still smiling. They would find Titan larger than ever, its wounds long healed. And they would hear the same story repeated across countless worlds. A story that became legend. The day hunters came seeking profit. The day fleets came seeking victory. The day a giant alien beast froze in fear behind Child. And the day humanity proved that its greatest strength was never its weapons, its ships, or its armies. It was the simple, stubborn refusal to abandon someone who needed protection. No matter how large they were, no matter how different they looked, no matter how impossible the odds. Because when humans choose to stand beside a friend, the galaxy eventually learns a lesson that cannot be forgotten. The safest place in the universe is behind a human who has decided you belong.